Okay, so hey guys, welcome to a new video of this channel. So this is the second tutorial of the basic strokes, stances and grips. This video will be based on famous stances, not the famous but the widely used stances by every player on the tours of tennis, and the grips used by the grips which are also used by many famous players and me too, and the basic strokes like forehand and backhand. So let's get started with stances. So in terms of stances, there are four types of stances, which is a neutral stance, which I also call a ready position stance, because that's a stance where you get ready to hit a ball before you get hit at. So, for example, uh, my opponent is giving me a serve and I am standing, but I can't be standing like this because I won't have enough time for preparation to hit a shot. Because what if the opponent hits a fast paced shot or a serve that I'm not able to get ready in time for? So that's why there's a stance called a neutral stance, which allows you to stand like this with the racket ready in your arms. So if it's a backhand, you easily just grab your backhand grip and then finish it. Or if it's in a forehand grip, so then you finish it like that. So really, how the neutral stance allows you to is get more stability into your stance and allows you to react faster to shots you're waiting for. So it requires you to bend your knees, keep your feet parallel, and your head straight to the ball and your opponent, with the racket being in hands like this. You grab the neck of the hand with your left hand, or if you're a left-handed player, you grab your neck with the right hand. So you grab the racket like that, and you support it with your main forehand or backhand grip. So, for example, I'm going to be introducing it to you. I introduced this grip a bit earlier because I used this grip, but more are going to be introduced soon. So I use a Eastern grip, where it's also used by Roger Federer. So I usually get ready in a position like that. So you have to be careful while you get ready of that. So moving on to the second stance, which is the open stance, where you are getting the ability to move freely on the court and with fast-paced shots. So during that stance, you're able to hit shots around, like if it's across the whole court and I'm there. So I can easily just approach the ball with an open stance with no formality and able to hit a good fast-paced shot as a return. So that is one of the things. So how you hit it is where you have your feet in one line and you're going towards the shot placement you're bending towards. So if it's a forehand, I'm bending towards my right, and if it's also a lefty, if I'm hitting a forehand, so I'm bending towards the left. So that's how you hit an open stance shot. Where now, compared to a closed stance, that's a traditional shot of how you hit a forehand or a backhand. So the first thing you do for that, you keep your left foot horizontal and your left foot diagonal and front facing. So, for example, there's a pole right behind me, and I keep this left foot towards that pole, that I'm able to hit a forehand like that and finish it on my shoulder. So it allows me to give more stability, and it allows me to give more rotation on my hips. But then it has its disadvantages at the same time. So the disadvantages can also be one. The disadvantages can also be not getting to recover at the proper time. Whereas in the open stance, you're able to recover very quick because you're able to boom, bam, and then straight back where you are. But then in the slow stance, you first have to get ready in position, get your eyes matching to the ball and your hand, then you have to coordinate with the ball is coming, which direction it's coming to. So you have to adjust your whole body according to that in the close stance. Fourth stance, it's called the semi open stance, where it's usually used in volleys, and it is actually somewhat useful during match play. So it's usually used at net play when I'm at the net and playing right here. So it's the same as an open stance, but then there's a minority of a difference between the open stance and the semi-open stance, where you keep your foot horizontally, and instead of keeping your foot at the same line, you keep it a bit ahead of a back foot. So that helps you across, that gives you good, better volley and helps you a lot with topspin. So sometimes if I'm playing at the baseline and it's a pretty weak shot, I'm able to make a semi-open stance and hit a very good topspin shot. So now let me explain you what's usually topspin and backspin, how it really matters in tennis. So a topspin matters in tennis due to the acceleration of the ball. So the rule is you have to hit after the ball bounces only once. You cannot hit it after twice. You can also hit it before it bounces, but then it's a very risky shot you hit. So to increase the chance of it going to the other court and it's inside the court, you have to hit it with top spin. And if you do not follow hitting a topspin shot, you hit either a flat shot or a passing shot. So a passing shot is similar to a flat shot, but there's no topspin. But it's a pretty slow shot, so it has more percentage of getting into the court. But then you have more percentage of losing the point. But then if you hit a flat shot, it is more likely to be out of the court or on the net. So you'll always lose a point at that time. But you need a lot of skill and a lot of experience to move to have a flat shot. So in a topspin shot, basically you spin your wrist upwards to give the ball some top spin that it goes like this and moves towards the opponent faster. It increases space after the ball bounces, so it does not decrease space unlike the flat shot. After bouncing, it doesn't bounce. It barely bounces that much. So that is the key. That is the key of hitting shots like that. Moving on to the forehand and basics. So I have already told you about how stances work, but before learning to forehand, we also have to learn about the grips. So as I told you, I usually play with the Eastern grip. So the Eastern grip is usually your hand, the index finger of the hand and the knuckle where it joins. You're supposed to put it on this part of the racket. You can see that there's a line. You can feel the line. There's a shape of a line right here. You put that right here, and you always make sure that the end of your palm is always touching the butt of the racket. So, like, this is the butt of the racket, and this end of the palm is always supposed to touch here. So make sure that you do that. And in the Eastern grip, you always keep your knuckle and this line aligned. With that, you hold your racket like this. All right. Moving on to the backhand grip, you hold this in a continental grip like this, and you hold it for support with your other hand. So I'm able to. So it's usually when it's a righty, it's usually a right hand as the main grip for power and the left hand for support. But it's a lefty, you put your left hand and your right hand as a backhand. But as I'm a righty, so I'll put my right hand as a continental grip and my left hand as support, which I'm able to hit a good backhand like that with topspin. So now when we are moving on to the stances, grips, and now the basic strokes. So in strokes, really, it's very simple. You need to first of all, in my case, how I have been hitting a forehand for so many years. But in your case, I would be making one little split step. So before you're able to make a stance and then you're able to hit the ball, this is the main priority. Basically, this means you're able to quickly. This helps you create more balanced and helps you focus a lot onto the ball after you do this. So this step is called the split step, where you're able to quickly make a position and able to hit the ball. So, in terms of a forehand, usually there's a backswing and there's a front swing. So the front swing is to when you have contact with the ball, but the backswing is to gain some power and some good swing of the racket you're able to do. So, for your case, I'll be teaching you how to do a swing, the best for beginners. So, first, you do a split step with your closed stance, and you're able to bring your racket like that to the end, and then you bend down and then move your wrist upwards onto your left. So, while that, you bend your elbow and then bring it and finish your whole shot on the shoulder. So when you're able to do that, you're able to hit a good forehand. Make sure that your racket is not like this or this or this. You have to make sure it is on the perfect height. It has to be like this. So which allows you to have a more capable forehand and allows you to have a better shot quality than usual. Moving on to the backhand, where I have told you how we grip the backhand. So we get a right hand on the bottom of the continental grip, and your um, your second support hand, we'll say. So as I say, always before a shot, you always hit a split step. So one, and then another close stance for backhand. You get this arm right here already, and you're able to bend your knee and you're able to s- use your left wrist as a spin or a support hand. So you're able to do this easily and finish it on your right shoulder. So with that, I am concluding the video. Thanks for watching.